In a time and place when you can work from anywhere.
Two ladies in their mid to late 27s have decided to.
And they're calling it workationing.
Your Gringas have done fucked up again.
I hope this is our last where we went wrong, but I doubt it.
Here are all the mistakes they made in Acapulco.
This is the Workationing Podcast.
So I think the good news is that we're not going to die, I think.
I've survived this far. I think the good news is we survived Acapulco, Gringa. Woo, woo, we lived.
I wish I had the strength to celebrate.
Yeah, this is. I'm still not feeling 100. Let me tell you.
No, neither am I. We have been in Pacific Beach for 4 days now?
Yep.
And we still haven't been to the beach. I can see it when you walk outside.
You can't see it. Right outside of our house, you can see it. We just haven't been there yet.
I'm just weak.
I'm
like
so
a baby.
weak. I am so weak. And we better gather our strength, sister, because we've got a pride parade to stomp on through.
I know, and that's always so brutal. It's fun, but it is a lot of work.
So you can catch Kelly live tweeting from San Diego Pride.
Sweating up a storm.
Just tweeting out some giffery. Working out her Boomerang app on her iPhone. And it's fun. It's so much fun, but it's a lot of work, and it's very hot.
It is. No, it's really, really fun. I'm just hoping we'll be feeling better by then. So we got off the plane. We pieced out of Acapulco early.
We did. We left, 3 days early?
Yeah, because we just couldn't anymore. So we left, came to Pacific Beach a little early, which is not a small thing to do because it is much more expensive to stay in Pacific Beach than it is to stay in Acapulco. But at a certain point, it's do I want to die here?
No. And to be clear, Pacific Beach is a part of San Diego.
Yes.
It's a little collegey out here. The vibe is much different from Acapulco, both beach towns.
Very different. Very different. I like it here, though. I like it so much. I feel like I would like anywhere that was not Acapulco right now, but I really do actually like Pacific Beach. It's pretty. It's quaint. It's a little hipstery.
There's Uber.
There's coconut water, girl,
oh,
and it's not expired and full of bugs.
Not even rancid. Just fresh coconut water. I wasn't even afraid to drink out of the carton of coconut water.
Right?
Because Vito Coco doesn't do you dirty like that.
Never.
Acapulco Coco, on the other hand.
Well, really, screw you.
Oh, it was foul. So, yeah, we are in Pacific Beach. It's nice. The weather's nice. The people are nice, albeit slow.
They're a little slow. I can't handle this San Diego vibe in terms of the people. They're really nice, but it's girl, spit it out.
I know. Well, yeah, I have lived on the East Coast for the last several years, and I'm big on the can you please hurry up with your giddy up?
Right.
Ohio, is it like that out there? Things a little more slow paced?
No, I mean, people work hard where I'm from. And I mean, not that people don't work here don't work hard, but it's just definitely a more relaxed pace of life. Even in Ohio, I would say things are just more bustly and frenzied. And I know people sometimes really criticize that kind of a lifestyle, and I know all the reasons why it's probably unhealthy, but I personally just like it. I don't like things to take a long time that don't need to.
Well, and to be fair, we are in Pacific Beach, which is, it's kind of collegey.
Right.
I guess it's kind of like the party-ish area. I really like the vibe here, though. I've stayed in other parts of San Diego in the past. I have to come out here every year. This is your first trip out here for this client.
Yeah, I'd never been to San Diego, so it's pretty cool.
So I've gotten to scope the scene a little bit, and I've stayed in Pacific Beach for I guess the last couple years now. Didn't have a great Airbnb experience the second time. The first time it was good. This third time is great. I like this place. It's not hot. I don't feel the top of my kneecap sweating.
Right. No, it's been really interesting. So our place in Pacific Beach is just much more modest than our place in Acapulco. It's cute, though. It's in this it kind of feels like Melrose Place back here.
It is.
This little apartment complex. It's very Melrose. But what's interesting is we both kind of realized that we'd rather be somewhere like this. It's more modest, but has a lot of things around it that we can walk to. It's somewhere that we feel safe.
Yes, it's very safe here. It is a little Melrosey. I don't mind that. You know why? Because if I can hear the lady across the fence here laughing, then she can hear me scream at night.
Right.
You know?
Right. We keep ending up in Acapulco. That building was just so empty. It was eerie, really.
So I don't think we mentioned this. This is definitely part of where we went wrong.
Right.
Maybe we should just get to the where we went wrong, since that's what this episode is about.
Well, let's do it.
Not how awesome PB is. Let's go back to hell for a minute, Gringa.
Well, you know how much we love to just go back to all the ways we fucked up.
So our first red flag should have been the research that we didn't get to. But while we're on the subject of houses that are full or apartment complexes that were full, we went outside the second day to go get some steps in, walking around the parking lot because we couldn't really go outside of our compound without being attacked by wild dogs.
Yeah, on account of all the wild dogs and murdering.
It's just a lot out there outside that gate.
You can't go out there.
So how about we just stay in the parking lot? You know, this is fine. This is great. But we were out there at night, and you can't really tell how empty a place is during the day. But at night, at like 8, 9 p.m., when people should still be up, you should see some lights on in the windows. It was very clear that we were one of maybe 3 condos that were occupied.
Yeah, in the whole building. And it's a big building.
I hardly ever saw anybody.
No, we barely ever saw anyone at all. And I think there was only one set of tenants that actually lived there full time. Mm-hmm. And then there was another apartment across the hall from us, which kind of sucked because in that whole building, they ended up being like right across the hall from us.
Right.
That was clearly an Airbnb. And so you'd get groups of people through there partying.
Right. That was kind of a lot.
Which sucked. But I don't know. There wasn't really anyone else in the entire building. And that was a little disconcerting.
It was. Again, who's going to hear you scream? Where do you run to for help? Like, let's say you're choking. I can't Heimlich you. Do I have to go all the way down to the guard gate? Because you're definitely going to die.
Right. No, and when the deal is that good, you're like, okay, so what does everyone else know that I don't?
Let that lead your Google searching, I think. We didn't do that.
No, we didn't. And it's really, I'm frustrated with myself because this is something that we've already talked about and it's a mistake that we've already made.
Oh, yeah.
And we like to just keep making the same mistake.
Hey, I didn't really back you up on that. You were like, oh, Acapulco sounds fine. It was down to Acapulco and what, Panama?
Yeah, and then maybe somewhere else in Mexico, maybe in the Yucatan somewhere.
Right.
And we were trying to decide. So I've been thinking about this a lot, about how it is that I keep making the same mistake over and over again. And I have a few ideas of why that might be. One is that it's just really easy to get blinded by awesome deals. It should be actually a red flag when I see something that's that awesome and that cheap. We had the same situation in Medellin, although honestly, I would go back to Medellin. I would never go back to Acapulco.
No, well, how much was our place in Acapulco? It's $1,500 a month, right?
Uh-huh.
For a very large condo. Very, very large. And it was pretty nice.
Yeah, it was one of the nicest places I've ever stayed.
It was huge. 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. We didn't even need a place that big.
No,
for the same budget we could have had. And we did have, Santi came and stayed for a week. It was nice to have the extra bedrooms for that. But we could have gotten a smaller place, maybe in a better location. What do we need 4 rooms for? There's only 2 of us. It could have stayed the same price. It would have been fine, but maybe we would have been more satisfied with our overall experience.
Yeah, I think that's a real possibility. I also think another red flag should have been, and it sucks because we're pretty good at finding good airline deals.
Right.
However, when you can fly from Boston to Acapulco for $177, you should probably ask yourself why. That's like literally thousands of miles.
Is that deal too good to be true? Maybe.
Right. So like, why is no one else going there? Why can they not sell these? They can't give these plane tickets away. Why?
Why is this Airbnb so cheap and so beautiful? You know, like the value per square foot?
Right.
I'm seeing a lot of it.
And the views. I have never in my life seen anything like I saw in Acapulco.
It looks gorgeous. Fire on Instagram. You can go check it out.
Right. And so I don't know. So I think the deals, it's sometimes you can get blinded because you're just like, well, this will be perfect. I can stay in this wonderful place. It's going to cost me like $0. Mm-hmm. And great. So you're just problem solved, you know? and I think that ties into the next issue, which is decision fatigue. Because when you are really, what's hard about this, the way we're traveling, is that we can go anywhere we want. And we don't really plan that far ahead because we kind of like to see what happens, you know?
Yeah, see where the mood takes us, you know?
Right? Which is real cute and all, except that when it comes down to picking a place and we don't have much time left and we're not really sure where we're going to go and we can go literally anywhere, the decision fatigue becomes a real issue. Because suddenly we've got all these tabs open. We're maniacally going back and forth between Airbnb and these airline sites and trying to figure out what's going to be the best thing. And we're also skipping ahead because we want to get a good deal to where we're going, but then we want to kind of start pricing
the next leg out.
Yeah. What's it close to? Where can we fly out of? How much is that going to cost?
And really, we haven't been so good at that. We were pretty good with it. So our first leg was, I went from Boston and you went from Ohio to Aguada, Puerto Rico.
Right.
Via San Juan.
Yeah.
And then from there, we went to Medellin, Colombia. That was a long flight, but a short trip, basically.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. And then from Medellin, we went back to Boston and then drove up to Montreal. And the Boston-Montreal was like strategically placed.
Right.
Right. And then we came back down to Boston and had to do the Pride event there. And then from there, we're like, well, we've got to go to San Diego. So Acapulco made sense. Panama made sense. That whole area made sense. And so we limited our options based on the upcoming leg of the trip. And after San Diego here, we're driving to Las Vegas.
Right.
And we'll be completing a bucket list item along the way there. And then the next stop is Prague.
Yeah.
And from Prague, we can basically get anywhere. So to travel within Europe is very, very cheap. You got to watch out for that Schengen region, though.
Right. No, that's tricky. So the decision fatigue sets in because we're looking at all these different factors. And then when you see a really awesome deal, you're just like, let's do that.
Yeah, no, it sounds great. And then after a while, you're just like, anything is fine. All of it starts to look the same, you know? God, what tab is the cool place? Well, now this guy didn't get back to me fast enough. And you know we like to negotiate for lower prices. So that takes a couple extra days.
Well, and it feels like a small risk. We were only booking someplace for a month. And in a way that is true, you know, because as much as that was a hard experience and it felt like it was going on forever and ever, it really was only a month out of my life. It wasn't that bad.
That was the longest month of my life.
No, it really, really
was.
The
sweatiest month of my life.
Yeah.
I could never, I never want to sweat that much ever again.
No, it was horrible.
For a month.
And then the other thing I think that's really an issue is confirmation bias, which is that once that decision fatigue is set in, I've decided I just want to go to the beautiful, cheap place, then it's really easy to just take whatever pieces of information confirm what I want instead of actually researching it. So I had Santi on one shoulder sending me just a flurry of articles that I made the executive decision to never click on.
You promised him you would, though, too.
I sure did.
You were like, yeah, no, I got this. I'm definitely going to read all of this, Santi.
No, but then I went and I was talking about it with Jacques in Montreal.
Right.
That's when we were making this decision. And you have to keep in mind, he met me in Colombia. He calls me Colombia girl to his friends. I think there's a certain way in which he has kind of like a very skewed view of me that's just much more worldly and cool than I actually am. You know? Like, if we're being real. Uh-huh. And I'm fine with that. But like... You know, he was like, well, whatever, you've been to Medellin, you've been all over, you're a smart traveler, you're a savvy lady, you've got this, you're going to be fine, don't even worry about it. And I was like, that sounds right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Jacques is right.
That one sounds like it's what I want to hear, and also it makes me sound good.
Yeah, so obviously Jacques is right, and Santi just needs to
just
put on his man pats.
Right.
Yeah. But one thing that we also didn't consider, and this is something that I'll definitely keep top of mind moving forward, was the water situation. So when you go to, let's say, Mexico for a week and you're at a resort and you've got Cabana Boys bringing you bottles of water left and right, the hydration thing isn't as big of a deal. However, when you are living in your own place for an entire month and it's 5-gallon water jugs you've got to hoist on top of the counter and flip upside down and try not to break your back or spill too much.
Right.
That's a real problem.
No, you can't even wash your food. You can't rinse vegetables and that sort of thing in that water because you really will get sick.
No, and it was everything that was getting us. Like, we couldn't put our finger on it. Something was making us sick, and it was basically everything.
Right. No, and that was really, really brutal, which brings us to the next place we went wrong, which is that, honestly, we should have gotten out sooner. There's no reason that we should have pushed ourselves to the point that we pushed ourselves, because I know we laugh about it on the podcast and make jokes, but I'm still not okay. And Carrie's still not okay.
No.
We've been taking probiotics. We've been hydrating constantly. I can't get hydrated enough.
No.
It's like I was dehydrated for so long that I can't catch up. And that worries me. That's not good for you.
No, it's definitely not good for you. No, I think we were incredibly dehydrated on top of everything else. And I don't know. The water situation, again, was a real problem. And I will never go somewhere for more than a week outside of like a resort style situation if I can't drink the water.
No, it's just too brutal. It's too brutal. And we talked about before, we don't really get to take days off, and we just had to battle through that. And so I never really got to recover or get downtime, and the exhaustion of that. We've really just been working and sleeping here in Pacific Beach and just trying to get well.
Because it was rough. It was really rough. And we joke again about what's a good trigger point for going to the hospital. Is it when your femur's through your leg?
Right.
Oh, no, not your femur.
How'd your femur, girl?
How's your femur? Oh, did it happen in an Acapulco cab?
No, girl.
I've always worried about that. But like, I was really, really, really sick. I was sick to the point where if I were at home, I definitely would have gone to the hospital. But who wants to go to a Mexican hospital? A Mexican jail is probably the only thing worse than that. That's an inner circle of
if
Mexican
we were in
hell.
like Mexico City or something, I would feel great about it. Or not. I mean, listen, I'm never excited to go to the hospital, but Acapulco, I just didn't see anything here that wasn't kind of scary and run down. And I can't imagine that the hospitals were great. If we were in a better city, I wouldn't have had a problem with it. It's just Acapulco is a real mess.
I didn't want to go and catch something worse.
No.
What is that even going to look like? I don't know.
The traveling part of this is, and I'm sure we'll talk about this more in the future, but you know, we've been talking more and more. When we started this, we've been talking about, we're going to do a new country every month.
Right.
And that sounded really reasonable because I was used to going on vacation. We would do workations together, mini ones that were like, 10 days, 2 weeks, something like that. And so it seemed like a month was going to be just a really long time. And I remember that first month in Aguada feeling like a really long time.
It did.
But now the year is just flying by. And really, every time you travel, you lose that whole travel day. We use airport lounges and we keep up and whatever, but it's just, you don't get a ton done. It's kind of a wash.
It is.
And there's the day leading up to it when you've got to clean your place and you've got to pack all your shit up. And then you're settling in, and then you get into your new place and you wake up that next day and it's like you need groceries.
And then you've got to go do that whole song and dance, which is very time consuming, especially if you're not familiar with, I don't know, where you can get certain things, which happens all the time.
All the time. You would not believe how different stores look and how different the things that they have in there are in other countries if you haven't been there. It's really
bizarre sometimes.
No, you just never know what you're going to get, really.
Oh, God, the depths in Montreal. You would expect it to be like, I don't know, a Rite Aid or something.
No, it's like a real nightmare in there.
No, and random stuff. I've never seen such random shit.
Right, and you just never ever know. And so it really does take up a lot of time. And so there are big costs associated with switching locations beyond the monetary costs of like plane tickets and that kind of shit. It takes up a lot of our time. It takes us away from work.
You then have to research another location.
Right.
Which is,
that takes
as we've
time.
discussed, it takes us days to find locations. And
Yeah.
we talk about it for a week or two sometimes?
Yeah, we really kick it back and forth, and we spend a few hours a day just looking and trying to decide. So what I'm trying to say is that we should have gotten out sooner, but the reason that we didn't, and it's hard to know where that line is, and we're kind of inclined to stick it out past the point that we probably should, because although we could do that, we've got more than a safety net. We can move if we want to. I'm not thrilled about spending a bunch of money I wasn't planning on spending, but it's possible. But it's just the cost of it. I think we just kept hoping it was going to get better because moving was going to mean a huge outlay of just cash and time and
headspace. Just a whole lot of headspace. And it would have been another thing too if there were, let's say, other cities close by. So when we go to Europe, if any place sucks, no big deal because there are a million other options and they're like an hour train ride. It's going to cost you $20, 20 euros, whatever.
Right.
It's not expensive. It's not time consuming. And there are a lot of other options available. Nothing is close to Acapulco. When you look at Acapulco on a map, it's like, wow, there is nothing around that.
Yeah, it's hard to even fly there directly. Anywhere, any flights in or out, not all, there are some, but most of the flights in or out are going to route you through
Mexico
City or Houston. And so it takes a lot of time. It's not easy. You're going to be switching planes. You're going to have layovers.
It takes a while to get to that airport.
Yeah, it was not easy. But like you said, if we were somewhere like in Europe, I remember I took a train from Paris to Amsterdam and it took 3-4 hours or something like that. It was just easy.
Very cheap. All of the flights within Europe are extremely cheap. It's just greater ease of travel in general because the passport, once you're in the Schengen region, you don't have to deal with any of that.
Right.
It's just like, oh, you're in. Cool. You got to be out within 90 days, though.
Right.
Or we will kick you out and maybe never let you back in again.
Right. So I think that we will probably be careful about going to places where we're so isolated again.
Right.
Because then when shit goes bad, I mean, we really probably should have left. There's no reason we should be letting ourselves get so sick for so long.
No, we should have left after Santi left. We should have left with Santi, actually.
Probably.
We should have just carpooled to the airport with Santi and dipped out. And I'm sure we could have gotten some sort of refund after how crazy the Airbnb host was because we tolerated that bullshit for way too long too. And that lady was a fucking nut job.
No, she really was. She was a complete stalker. I've never felt so violated in terms of just my privacy.
No, it was like staying in a house that you were spied on. And I was like, but who's spying on me? And for what?
No, listen, I'm not a paranoid person. And granted, I was in a kind of a state while I was there. It really starts to wear you down being that sick and isolated and all of that. But just living on Johnsonville sausages really does a lot to a gringa. And
tastes like home.
But I really searched that apartment for cameras because I was convinced they were in there because she was just so obsessed with us and where we were and what we did and who we were talking to.
And she was very in the know about our whereabouts and our comings and goings.
Very like on top of it. And it was creepy. And I really did go through and look like in the vents and stuff and the light fixtures. I was like, there's got to be like a nanny cam in here somewhere.
I'm sure. I don't know.
But and the fact is like just the fact that I even got to that point and there was so little, the breakdown of trust with the Airbnb host was that profound.
No, and we hated the guards and the guards hated us.
Yeah.
Right? I think it would have been a 5 peso bribe to just take care of that gringa problem.
Right. I don't think they would have put up any kind of fight.
They'd been like,
they would have been like, oh yeah, let me let you right in.
Yeah, you see, it's not the second apartment with the lights on because there were only 2.
Yeah.
It's the first one.
That first one right there. Yeah. You head right on up.
They don't have a peephole. They're not going to see you coming. Don't worry about it.
Right. No, it was so bad. And it was, we were really isolated. Like listen, obviously Kari and I have a grand old time together. You know, like we love each other very much. But like we had Santi and then we had our taxi driver who spoke some English who would come and pick us up.
And that was it.
That was really it.
That was it. And I couldn't even sleep at night because it was so hot and the bug situation was so intense.
Yeah.
It was a lot. And moving forward, I'm not going to tolerate that stuff for myself. I understand why I felt like I was hopeful. I was optimistic that things would get better. But I think I need to be better at recognizing a situation that I should get out of. Yeah. And I have gotten better at that. I think a great example of that was when we dipped out of that taxi cab when we weren't feeling safe. That guy missed 2 Oxos after we told him, stop here, aquí. Right. You know, aquí es bueno. And no. So we made him pull over. We got out of the car. We paid him and it was done. And I don't know.
We should have gotten in that next cab and had it take us to the airport.
We should. Yes. Just leave my stuff. I'll have him.
Aeroporto.
I'll have the crazy lady ship it to us, please.
On delay.
God damn it. So that's what we're going to do next time is dip out. But I'm hopeful that we have learned our lesson, lady. We've got a European leg coming up. I know I like Europe. We've got Las Vegas coming up. I love Las Vegas. You've never even been.
No, I've never been. I have actually never really wanted to go, but I think this situation sounds fun. I'm excited because we're going to road trip there.
Yes.
And that's bucket list for both of us.
It is. I can't wait to talk about that.
That's going to be really cool. I'm excited to do it. And we've
got some glam situations to go to. We have some gala events, Gringa.
We do. And I'm also excited because a lot of just the random friends that I have made on this journey, mostly yours,
I know,
are going to be in Vegas. But it's after being isolated in Mexico for so long, it's nice to just have some people to talk to.
Yes. I was happy to talk to the gas station lady. I've been happy to talk to just people on the street. Right. They're nice here. They're nice in California.
No, and I'm excited for us to just be able to make friends and spread out a little bit again because, I mean, listen, we get along great, but like it's really when you're just with each other 24/7,
it's
like,
a lot.
It's like, well, and you don't even have anything to talk about. You know what I mean? Because it's just like we're never apart. You know what I mean?
No.
I love it when you come in hot with some news.
Right. Yeah. You don't need to tell me any cool stories, bro, because I was there.
Right. You were there for all, like, remember that time?
Yeah, I do.
Yep.
Hey, remember that other time?
Right.
Crazy times. Yeah. You were there for that.
So it's fun when it's way more fun when you can split up, go have friends, go on dates, meet different people,
come back and tell some stories.
Right.
Because you always get up to interesting shit.
No, so do you. That's what I love about you.
That queer dance was very cool in Montreal. You came back with some very weird stories and some dance cards that were full.
Yeah, girl. Listen, we love some good stories.
So we're going to go find some. We weren't able to find too many aside from John Wayne's Sex Dojo.
You know, despite everything, just having that experience was worth coming to Acapulco.
Well, and to be clear, if you have the chance to go to Acapulco, maybe don't.
Yeah.
If it's free, maybe see if you can maybe book a conference somewhere else. or find other options. If you somehow find yourself in the hellhole that is Acapulco, definitely stop by the Los Flamingos Hotel.
And
Yes.
if you go to our Patreon, we have videos and photos of Acapulco,
Yes.
of Casa Tarzan. So you can just go watch that video walkthrough and you can just go ahead and skip Acapulco. We did that for you, girl.
We did. Kelly still has the bug bite scars on her back to prove it.
No, my whole general ass region is just a real massacre right now.
It's your Acapulco tattoo, Gringa.
That better clear up. It looks
I
cracky
know.
as
I'm
hell.
like, when is it going to? Just don't wear your two-piece.
Right? It's just looking real cracky over here.
Just a nice, modest back cover up on that swimsuit.
I'm just super pale right now, and I've just got a lot of scabs.
Feeling real healthy. You know, it takes a long time to recover. So again, if you are thinking about maybe venturing into some places that are a little more wild, really ask yourself if you're an experienced traveler and are ready for that kind of, I guess, work, because it's a lot of work.
It is. It's a lot of work. It's not easy. I would actually really not recommend it for people if you're truly workationing.
Right.
You know? If
No,
you
make
have
it easier on yourself. Make it easier on yourself, because it's so difficult to get good work done when you're not feeling well, when it's hot. You can't sit at your internet box when it's hot.
Right. It's a real torture.
It is also hot.
Yeah.
It makes you hotter. It's just, oh my God, that was really miserable working from a place that hot.
Yeah. And it does. It takes a lot out of you. So definitely make it easy on yourself. I don't think it's fun to go to places that are a little more adventurous. I like that in general. I didn't love this, but you know, I kind of like the stories and I like the experience. I really like that. I really saw some shit. I had never seen that before. I saw a lot of shit I had never seen before.
Listen, you can see some shit in Amsterdam and you're probably not going to die there.
Right.
From the water or from cartels.
This is true. Yeah, it's really too much with working. If you're trying to get stuff done and be productive, I mean, the only upside is that, God, I think this is my most successful month on the diet.
Yeah. Hey, we are looking very, very skinny, which is great because we've got Steve Forbes' 70th birthday to go to.
We do. I've got a Rent the Runway dress.
Shimmy into some sequins.
Yeah, girl.
You know, tease up that hair. Yes. Slap on some heels. It's been a while since I've worn some heels. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, it's going to be very fun. We're going to do a very cute, sequiny, glam Vegas thing.
And you best believe we're going to splash that all over Facebook and Patreon.
Oh, hell yeah.
So it's going to be great. Does that wrap our Where We Went Wrong? I think we've learned some lessons. I hope that the listeners have learned some lessons from us the easy way so they don't have to learn them themselves the hard way.
Yeah, and I really hope the next time we can come back to you with new places we went wrong and not the same shit again. We're really going to focus on that.
You know what I could do without ever doing again is throwing up blood.
Yeah, let's try to just avoid that. That's just a one and done, I think.
Yeah, you know, I've done that. I've marked that bingo card.
And now we're done.
Yeah, I'm ready to go. Ready to go home.
All right, well, we're going to go hydrate more.
Yes. And looking forward to, what's our next episode going to be? Do we know?
I don't know yet. It's mystery.
Ooh, mystery.
So get excited for that.
It's going to be great. You're going to love it.
You're going to love it. This has been another episode of the Workationing Podcast. If you like what you've heard here, please consider donating at patreon.com/workationing. That's patreon.com. All proceeds will go towards funding our bucket list items.
To keep up with us in real time, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all at Workationing. Or on our website at, you guessed it, workationing.com. That's workationing.com. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you never miss an episode. God damn it, we keep fucking up.
God, these Gringas.
Keep fucking up these Gringas.
Fuck it up.
Can't take them anywhere.
Jesus.